Hello everyone, I'm Rob Smith. This is Mr. Black with the Strat Time Report, and we got a little bit of a smackdown going on here, so let's take a look and see what's going on here. So the problem is, there's a couple problems we got going on here. First of all, this is a Friday, and we're coming into the end of the month. So, you can see today is like the biggest bar of the week, and that's why, you'll hear me say, I don't care if you don't trade until Thursday or Friday, if you got to wait for it. But you'll notice here on the weekly, we've known about this all week. Two up, two down. And now we're closing, we still got some time, but at this point we're closer to two and down. And we're coming to the end of the month. And that's important because now you got the potential Rev Strat month, the inside month, the poke up, and then boom, September to remember. So we'll see. If you go to the daily here, you'll notice we had this gap down, the slight lower low, another slight lower low, and then boom, these two became an outside bar of these. And then today, this bar becomes an outside bar of all that, right? So that's what we call letting that triangle grow and get bigger. Let that range get bigger. It will. And as you can see, it did. And it's still, the heat is still on. So we're always looking for combinations. And if we go to the 30-minute, here, the inside 30, right? And so even if you missed that, even if you missed all this, you still had your inside 30, and it's still dropping from that. And if you go to the 15, here, Rev Strat 15er, inside, two up, two down, which triggers the inside 30, which is the low of this, right? And which is setting up very similarly on the monthly, and that's why we're paying attention to this coming into September. If we go to QQQ, and similar, outside bar, after these two became an outside bar of that, right? Range gets bigger, two up, two down. We know almost everything was doing that this week, just kind of, stopped them out, but good yesterday on the short side. Now, boom, down they go, setting up the shooter for the month, but we'll see. That was also an inside 30 down, I believe. Inside 30 to the downside Qs. That's so far still working. If we go to the diamonds, a lot of things looking just like the future, so there's that. And then diamonds, inside 30 to the downside. Very similar patterns over here. The two up, the two down week, and setting up the Rev Strat month there. If we go to small cappers, and small cappers here, inside 30 down, not totally falling apart, but everything's looking fairly similar. Almost everything was a two up, two down week, and we knew about that, just not kicking in until, but good on Friday when we had Chairman Powell speaking, so that got him going out there on Jackson Hole. So the upside, there's not too much, but one of the things I talk about all the time is the gap list. If you go to W day, you're going to see this. The two up, two down reversal on the 30-minute, all right? Here. It's below 172.21, all right? Nice $5-bucker. And if that works, then you get your inside 60 here, right? Boom. Down she goes. So we'll see if there's more to come there because we had some gaps up in China, and that was all right back down. Baba now inside in the 60. Baidu. How you doing, buddy? Baidu had a nice inside 30 here, and down it goes. So now we'll see if there's more weakness out of the China, because the strength, there's not too much there. You got to go down the food chain, but we did have XLE trying to hang out. So you got an outside day, not totally getting killed as yet. Right? So if you have a winner, because we know the bunch of these monthlies, we talk about in the Strat Attack show, these outside bars, then the poke down, the poke up. So as far as coming into the new month, most of the XLEs are still hanging around. Your Exxons, your Chevrons, and all that kind of stuff. Here, still green on the month, and Exxon's just still in it. Slight outside day, so not the end of the world for those things, but for the most part, a lot of things is bleeding out like the futures on these 2-2 weekly reversals. So, like I said, you got to get on the food chain to find anything that's any good here on the upside. Nerve. Inside day to the upside ripper. 2-1-2, and off she goes. And there's your Rev Strat month. 1, 2, boom, off she goes. There's your continuation. So nerve still hanging around, and if you go to the monthly, it's a used to be somebody, right? Here's your weekly Rev Strat, sorry, and still going. If we go to NEOG, and NEOG now stalling out with the market, comes back through this range. Nice green bar on the daily, gives you the outside week, setting up the hammer month if this thing's got anything really in the tank. SPY still dribbling lower here. We'll get back to that in a second. You go DQ. Also still hanging near the highs of the day. Outside week to the upside. All right, so it would be an inside month and closer to taking out the highs of the month. All right, so we can keep an eye on that. If we go to the 60, not quite inside of the 60, we'll see. It stalls out and just kind of sitting there. We'll see. If we go to SGen, and SGen gaps down. There's your inside 60 for the 212 reversal here. And still trying to come up into the gap. But that's really about it on the upside, at least for now. If you look to the downside, it's pretty much everybody. You go Apple, big boys coming down, and they're all looking similar. And so once we have some more corrective activity on the futures, like we go up a little bit, we can see if there's any strength at all. Because right now, almost everything is 2 up, 2 down on the week. And if we close on the lows of the week, we're a lot closer to being a 2 on the week. And then, how's this month close out? Right now it's getting closer to the downside, right? And that's something we'd want to know about coming into September. If we go to SMH, and boy, they got them good yesterday. Here, make sure nobody's short, and then boom, down they go, and just crushing these things. And look at this, closer to taking out the lows of the month coming into the new month. That's a problem, and that tells us NVIDIA here, well, they got them good in here, and then boom, right back down. Now closer to being a 2 up, 2 down on the month. All right, coming into the new month. LRCX also having problems, but you can see a lot of them looking real similar. They blew everybody out yesterday, and then boom, and that was right on the bell too for many of these things. If we go to Google, and Goog kicking pattern variation, almost completely green, and then gap down and boom. Take them out hard, right? Once again, what's it setting up? It's setting up a 2-2-monther, right? And that's what we want to know about coming in next week. If we go to RH, and a lot of things looking similar, but a lot of these potential rev strats here on the month, off the 2 reversal week, and chop them up with good all week, and then wham, see you later on a Friday. You want to hold them over the weekend now, do you? It looks like not. Okay, if we go to AFRM, and Apple goes to the lows. AFRM is inside on the 60. We'll see if there's more pain and suffering there. That's a 3-2 down on the week, setting up the shooter on the month. It's like a lot of things looking similar to the futures, when you have this kind of pressure on them. And that's why I said when we have corrective activity, we'll see if there's any strength at all. If these energies want to firm up or just kind of sit there and do nothing. But right now, pretty much everything looking like the futures, right? Just this big dumper, and there's your Dell getting pounded on the back through previous range, 2 up, 2 down, back through here, setting up the shooter counters hammer monther, and we'll see how that goes. If we go to FedEx, just poking around a little bit, FedEx, you can see that also the outside bar of all these guys, and they're all looking real similar, and that's setting up the Rev Strat month. 1, 2 up by taking out the highs, but then closing going out near the lows would be a problem. VFC, more retail. Rev Strat day. Inside day, poked up, stopped everybody out, then boom, right back to the previous range, all right, and that's going into recent lows. Not all-time lows, so VFC Corp having a lot of trouble. You can pretty much look at anything right now until we have some corrective activity in the futures. Pretty much everything is beyond the meats going to the lows right now. Nerve still going to the highs, and so if we go back to that SPY, here, you're going to see the slow bleed out. It's one attempt to rally was Rev Strat. Other than that, we're just been walking down these 15s. And so, if you got short in here, let's say you took the 15 or here, you got the Rev Strat, whatever, you can just walk it down the highs of the 15s. As of right now, almost nothing's up, so you don't really have too much fear of too much of a blast into your face, but we'll keep an eye on it. I hope everybody had a great week and has an even better weekend. I'm Ross with the Smith the Black Strat Time Report.